Good morning all, welcome back to SewGrannySew. I'm so glad you all decided to join in. Today we are going to be covering a wool mat. I have an older iron, not doing so hot in its old age. I just haven't replaced it yet. But when I received my wool mat, I just got a cheap little wool mat. I think mine's like 9 by 13. And I just used a fat quarter to cover it. So I have a granddaughter who also is into quilting. So I got her a 10 by 10 wool mat. And once again, we're going to use a fat quarter. I'm just putting basic colors. I know she likes stitch. She's a young granddaughter. But I don't have none of that kind of fabric. So we're going to go ahead and cover it with this. She can always make a new cover if she wants later. I just found that when I iron directly on my wool mat, my knob is broken. I can't tell where it's set, so I just covered mine and I've not had any problem with it melting since, and that's what I was wanting to do before. And when I looked online, I heard several people complaining about the same things. So a nice little cover for your wool mats come in handy. So the first thing we're going to do is, this is 100% wool. We're going to go ahead and get that out of the bag. They're really nice to make your ironing portable, which is exactly what she needed. So I'm just going to go ahead and iron up my fat quarter here. And I will be leaving the links to everything that I'm using in the video down in the description if you'd like to check those out. If you're in needing of any of these items, they'll be in the description below for you. So I was reading an article one time and it said always pressure fabric from the front. It didn't really go into details of why. I know it's the only time I've ever heard that. But so I've been trying to do that lately. But I'm just in a bad habit of always ironing it from the back in case you got anything on your iron. That way it don't rub off on your fabric. But I ironed a little bit on the back side and it didn't do nothing. So we're just going to go ahead and press this from the front. And I do not have my mister bottle in here. I always use a spray bottle when I'm ironing instead of filling the iron because it likes to leak, as most irons do over time. Some you use distilled water, some say don't use distilled water, and I can't keep up with it, so I just use my spray bottle and use that, and then it won't hurt nothing. And I'm not real worried about those deep ones because they will come out as she irons with it. I just want to make sure I can sew with it. Without getting crooked seams on it. Okay, so all we're going to do now is fold this in half, the right sides together. Now I need it to be big enough, therefore I am leaving that selvage on and just letting that be part of the seam. Because as you can see, don't have much wiggle room in there. So what we're going to start off doing is we're just going to go ahead and throw a couple quick pins in here. So we don't go crooked when we're sewing it. Okay, so we're just going to take a 1/4 inch seam from that side all the way up to that side. We'll go ahead and take that off, cut the thread on that, and then we'll come back and we're going to fold that down and iron that flat so we can also put a seam on that end. This is a really simple project, quick and easy, but it's also the way you make a pillowcase or anything like that. Go ahead and get this sewn up and I will meet you back here. Okay, so we have our fat quarter with the seam sewed on the two sides now. The other side is the fold, so we don't got to sew that side. So now we are going to clip these corners on the diagonal. So the seam's going right there. We're just going to clip that right close to that diagonal, but not going over it. Once we have that clipped, then we're going to turn it the right way. Now you can do this with any weight fabric you want. I did mine with more of a lightweight denim cotton. And this, of course, is just 100% pure cotton. I did find some really cute. I was looking on Amazon, and I'll leave the link for those too because I think they're adorable. I will probably end up ordering those. Some fat quarters. Really good price. It was like 7 of them for $10. I normally get my fat quarters at anywhere from $2 to $4 a piece, depending on the severity of my need for that design and the brand and so forth. But you can get them sometimes on like the Facebook for sale groups. You can get them sometimes for 50 cents or $1, but they're usually not really fancy ones when you get into them ones. So when I want a special fabric, I'll go on and online and find them. And when you order them from quilt shops, you're looking at probably $3 to $4 a fat quarter. Then we're just going to roll those seams and iron it flat. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and iron that and make sure it lays nice and flat. How long you leave this is up to you. So on mine, I just had a little bit of fraying on my fabric, so I didn't put an end seam in it because it is a lightweight denim. So I just tucked it in there and didn't worry about it. I'm the only one that ever sees it up until now. But on this one, we're going to go ahead and we are going to put a seam on the end, this end, because cotton does fray quite a bit. But first of all, I need to make sure that that fits in there. Okay, that fits in there nicely. It'll be nice and snug. So we're going to go ahead and measure that out and see about where we want it. Line that up there. And I'm thinking probably cutting it up here because that still gets a little bit of room for the hem and then also room to tuck it in when she puts it on there. We're going to set this aside. I have my Omega Red ruler here and my 45 millimeter OLFA cutter, rotary cutter. And we are just going to go right to that line on the mat and trim that excess off. Okay, once we have that cut off, then we're going to take this here and fold that down a little bit and iron that flat, iron that down, and then we're going to roll it one more time, and then we're just going to sew around the edge of that. So we'll go ahead and get this ironed down. Now, sometimes it might be easier to pull it inside out to do this. That way you can see how far down you're folding it over. I just like to start mine with the original fold and then iron that down, and then from there we can fold it again. That way any fraying that would happen is underneath and not gonna alter the use of this. It won't fray apart. Just like putting a hem in a shirt or a skirt or anything like that, blanket, quilt. Go ahead and iron that one. Flip it over, make sure we got this side done. Now if you want, you can pin that into place as well to make sure it doesn't come unfolded while you're sewing. I am just going to go over to the sewing machine and I will bring you with me and show you. We're just going to run that through the sewing machine and we're going to sew right about there, probably a 1/4 inch in from that side, just to make it sure it's all held into place. So we'll go ahead and head on over to the sewing machine. Yeah, I just got my sewing machine set on 1.6 for my stitch length. So just a smaller stitch. I'm going to go ahead and put that in, and I'm just going to line up 1/4 inch right off of this edge, this edge here. So a 1/4 inch in. So we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to back stitch as I go at the beginning and the end. I know it's not very often that I show the actual sewing of stuff, and I did have somebody reach out to me and say that they would learn more if I did show it. So on beginner projects like this, or weird angles for sewing or something like that, I am trying to go back to showing all the sewing of it. Okay, and that's all the sewing we have on this, so I will meet you back over at the table. Okay, we have it all sewn up here, so we're just going to turn it the right way again. This is so easy. You could also make bags like this. If you made the seam at the top bigger, a wider one, you could put a yarn or a cording or whatever through there and make a little duffel bag out of it as well. It's also how I like to line when I crochet purses, I will make a cotton lining for them, and I like to use. Then when you put the crocheting in there, you just sew it at the top and turn it the right way. It works really nice. So when you tuck it in, you're just going to fold that down at the sides. Make sure it lays nice and flat. I'm going to iron over that real quick. Get that off my cutting board. Maybe put that other one underneath the first time. And that's all there is to it, you guys. It's so simple, but it helps out so much. And on these ones, you don't got to add no batting or anything. But if you're doing a new iron board cover, of course, then you'd want to add your underlayers in it as well. Tomorrow we are going to be releasing the second part, actually, of the panel quilt. This one here. So be on the lookout for that. As always, guys, if you found this video useful, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because we'd love to have you here at SewGrannySew. Thanks all. Have a good day. Bye.